Good evening. The Metropolitan Police says climate change activists planning to paralyse parts of the capital during the London Marathon this weekend will face a robust response. Officers say they have plans in place to tackle any criminal behaviour or disorder. And speaking at the Labour Party conference in Liverpool, the Mayor added his voice to the warnings, saying he won't let the campaigners block the streets. Our political correspondent Simon Harris reports from Liverpool.
For more than 7 months, environmental activists have been targeting fuel supplies in and around London, gluing themselves to tankers and damaging pumps at filling station forecourts. Now the Extinction Rebellion splinter group Just Stop Oil is about to unleash a campaign of disruption in the capital which could last weeks.
The disruption that we're going to be causing in Westminster is such a small amount of disruption compared to the disruption of the climate crisis. We saw with the 40 degrees heat not long ago, train lines buckling and the fire brigade being pushed close to breaking point. That's the kind of disruption that's on the way.
The start of the action this weekend coincides with the London Marathon, and there are worries that this major charity fundraising event could be affected. Scotland Yard said it was aware of the threat from Just Stop Oil, and it promised that any criminal or antisocial behaviour would be met by what it called a robust policing plan. But London's businesses fear a repeat of the disruption caused by Extinction Rebellion in April 2019. Waterloo Bridge, one of central London's busiest river crossings, was blockaded for days. Oxford Circus was also shut down when protesters parked a pink boat in the middle of the junction.
I'd like to see a robust response from the Mayor and from the police. You can sympathise greatly with the objectives the protesters have. This is not the way to do protest in London. I believe that the protesters have said they've recruited people who are willing to go to jail, and I'm afraid that's what's going to have to happen. The protests must be cleared as effectively and efficiently and humanely, but as effectively and efficiently as the police can.
London's Mayor is spending 4 days at the Labour conference, today joining celebrity chef Tom Kerridge to talk about the capital's economy. Will the police stop roads being blocked?
Well, the police will make sure their response is proportionate. If there are concerns around public disorder, if there are concerns about crucial arteries where, for example, ambulances have to go over, police cars have to go over, fire engines have to go over, they will make sure they're free for those blue light services to go over.
Just Stop Oil is deliberately vague about its targets, other than to say roads in Westminster will be blocked.
Simon, we've heard from the Mayor there, but tomorrow it's the turn of another big London politician.
Yes, all eyes will be on the MP for Holborn and St Pancras as Sir Keir Starmer gives his speech as party leader. Labour members in Liverpool are in buoyant mood in large part because of the government's troubles. The demise of Boris Johnson and the fallout from last week's mini-budget have contributed to a feeling here that Labour is a government in waiting. So there's a real pressure on Sir Keir Starmer tomorrow to deliver a strong speech to reinforce that.
Simon, thank you.
Well, let's bring in Simon now, who's at the Labour Party conference. And Simon, the Mayor Sadiq Khan is there with you in Liverpool. What does he make of what Sir Mark had to say to Carolyn?
Duncan, Sir Mark's promise to restore trust and increase neighbourhood policing raises many questions. And what I frequently hear from London politicians is, will the Met go back to having a dedicated police commander for every London borough? Well, that's a question I put to the Mayor here in Liverpool.
OK, Simon, a slight problem there with the Mayor's clip. But let me just go on to another big story up where you are in Liverpool. A very bad day for the MP, Rupert Huck.
Yes, Rupert Huck, the Labour MP for Ealing Central and Acton, has been suspended by the party after making a racist comment about the Chancellor, Kwasi Kwarteng. At a fringe meeting here in Liverpool, she said he was superficially black and talked about his private school education. Well, Labour said that was totally inappropriate and withdrew the party whip. Well, tonight, the MP says she has offered her sincere apologies to Mr Kwarteng. Her remarks were ill-judged, she admitted, but these are not the sort of headlines Labour wanted on the day of Sir Keir Starmer's big speech.
No. Simon, thank you very much. Simon Harris in Liverpool there. Next tonight, Sadiq Khan has admitted he still hasn't decided whether to extend the ultra-low emission zone to all of Greater London. The mayor has been under pressure to postpone the controversial extension next summer because of the cost of living crisis. Our political correspondent Simon Harris has been at the Labour Party conference this week, where other mayors have other ideas. Simon Harris reports.
Do you notice he went first?
Britain's best-known mayors were doing a double act. London's Sadiq Khan and Greater Manchester's Andy Burnham shared a stage at Labour's Liverpool conference. There's much they agree on, but when it comes to clean air, they've gone in different directions. Sadiq Khan wants to extend the ultra-low emission zone to the very edge of Greater London, charging drivers of older cars £12.50 a day. Andy Burnham, by contrast, has decided now is not the time to impose extra costs on people and businesses in his city. London's mayor is looking to expand the ULEZ in August 2023, but there's growing dissent from politicians in the affected boroughs. Unhelpfully for Mr Khan, they include some Labour MPs who want him to postpone the plan until the cost of living crisis is over.
Just at a time when the gas and electricity is going up, when rents, when mortgages, who knows what's going to happen to our mortgages are going up, this would be a real pressure for people in outer London.
Greater Manchester's planned clean air zone is now on hold. Mr Burnham thinks even a small charge would be a financial burden during a cost of living crisis, although clean air campaigners would like him to press ahead.
We're really disappointed at the delay. We hear from people on a daily basis with asthma, with COPD, other lung conditions, telling us they're fed up of living with toxic air around them. It affects the way they live their daily lives.
Londoners were asked to give their views on an expanded ULEZ during a 10-week public consultation over the summer. So, has the mayor reached a conclusion on whether his scheme is right?
No. What we're doing is looking at the responses to the consultation. Many people from across the country, by the way, with vested interest. Many organisations who are anti-clean air have been responding to the consultation, so TfL are going through all the responses and I'll make my decision in due course.
The mayor says he's again lobbying the government to bankroll a scrappage scheme to help less well-off car owners buy new ones. But there's no sign yet that ministers are willing to play ball. Simon Harris, ITV News.